Oh God, people are still eating charcoal? What the f? Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abbey's Kitchen. Today's video is sponsored by Talkspace, and we will be reviewing fitness and lifestyle YouTuber Daisy Keech. So I know I am all over the place right now. I'm just trying to get settled in a temporary filming situation as there's some work going on in my studio. But let me tell you about my sponsor, Talkspace. You guys know I have been pretty open about my mental health struggles throughout my life, and I am a huge proponent of therapy for anyone who has access. Like, seriously, who doesn't benefit from a supportive, empathetic person to talk to? So I was really excited when I learned about what this new app Talkspace is doing to make therapy more accessible and affordable for everyone. So Talkspace is an online platform for connecting people with a licensed therapist that best meets their goals and needs. You basically just fill out a quick online survey, get sent a list of recommended therapists that best meets your needs, and then you can access sessions securely online from anywhere. You can do live video sessions, text, and audio messages, whatever is most convenient for you. And as a busy person, I really love this flexibility. It just makes finding a therapist and actually going to therapy that much easier. So if you've been thinking about prioritizing your mental well-being, this app is an amazing place to start, and you can check out my link in the description and use my promo code AbbeyTalk to get $100 off of your first session. But first, my disclaimer that you can see on the screen or in the description, including a trigger warning as I will be discussing calories and macros, so feel free to skip that section if this does not support your journey. All right, let's get into it.
I also want to mention I am not a nutritionist, by the way. This is just what works for me.
Always here for a disclaimer like this, so
thank you so much.
I usually intuitive eat, so I don't have like a strict, I don't know. I kind of like intuitive eat mixed with counting macros. So like I listen to my body and what I feel like it needs, but I also try to stay within like a certain guideline.
So not intuitively eat? You know, I used to be a little bit salty when folks were co-opting the intuitive eating language because, you know, if you're counting macros and staying within a guideline, you're not actually intuitively eating as it was conceptualized by its creators. So intuitive eating is actually a mind-body framework that goes far beyond just listening to your body. And even if it was just listening to your body, I would say it's not accurate to describe what Daisy is doing as eating intuitively. When we count macros, make sure that we're staying within a caloric guideline or carefully follow a meal plan. We're really eating in response to external cues, not internal ones. So intuitive eating at its core is really grounded in the idea of eating by internal cues, hence the word intuitive. Now, Daisy didn't go into a whole lot of detail on how she eats, but I do get the sense that what she means by intuitive eating is that she's not like starving or going hungry or even weighing or carefully measuring her food like a lot of folks in the fitness industry often do. So maybe because she's like eyeballing it, or she's allowing herself to eat a bit more if she feels, you know, she's working out or she feels super hungry, that she sees this as the intuitive way. And I think it's actually a really great step, I really do. So I'm not poo-pooing this effort here, but that to me could be more accurately described as like flexible dieting, not intuitive eating. And if flexible dieting is what works for Daisy, great. Flexible dieting works for a lot of people, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. But intuitive eating, as it was conceptualized, isn't really compatible with the idea of intentionally trying to get a flat tummy and a big booty like her video title suggests. Obviously, this can happen for a lot of folks who eat intuitively if that is what their body is genetically destined to look like. But manipulating your diet to achieve this look really does miss the mark on that regard. Anyways, you can eat however you want and you can call it whatever you want to yourself, but I just don't want Daisy's 1.5 million subscribers walking away thinking that this is what their intuition will inherently accomplish. It's very clear that most influencers using this terminology just don't really understand it at all themselves. And that's okay. I mean, we're all learning, right? So I just want to provide that education. All right, let's see what else she has to say.
Right now I'm trying to get a little bit leaner in general just because I feel a lot better when I'm leaner. So like I said, I've been incorporating some cardio, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat a carb before my workout and then a carb after my workout. Then I've been cutting out one carb throughout the day.
Case in point, cutting out one carb throughout the day to get leaner, not intuitive eating. Again, I have nothing against dieting or manipulating macros or counting calories to meet a goal if that is what brings you joy. Everyone is entitled to body autonomy, and you can do whatever you want to try to achieve whatever aesthetic goal that you have. I'm not here to judge Daisy on that. But this is blatant diet culture, so, please let's not pretend that it's not. I want to see what she's eating though.
I have my sourdough toast cooking in the oven. So cute. And yes, I eat sourdough toast. I don't think it's honestly that bad if you just have one and you're about to go work out, so you're gonna go burn it off anyways.
Okay. Well, you guys know I love my sourdough. I just think it's like the most flavorful bread, and because it's a fermented food, it's naturally lower in FODMAPs, so it's easier to digest. So I love her choice in morning carbs, but obviously, I don't love her choice in words. So FYI, folks, contrary to Daisy's assertion, it's also not bad if you have 2 slices of bread, or if, heaven forbid, you have bread and you don't work out afterwards to burn it off. For the love of all that is holy, bread is not the devil. Please let me put this into perspective for you. So 2 slices of sourdough bread contains just 170 calories, 3 grams of fiber, 6 grams of protein, and just under 30 grams of carbs. 30 grams of carbs is just like 10 to 20% of your carb needs for the entire day. It's nothing. And Daisy's suggesting that, she can only have one, and only because she's exercising that day. Friends, eat the damn bread.
Eat it, Jim. Eat it, Phyllis.
And no, not just if you're going to work out. Anyways, I'm getting a little unhinged here, but let's see what she's having with said bread.
I am cutting up an avocado, and I'm going to squeeze a ton of lemon. Bacon, this is just organic, uncured turkey bacon. Just a little bit of this vegan butter on my sourdough toast. And this is what my beautiful meal looks like.
Okay, so this looks like a tasty, albeit relatively small breakfast, but we have a little carbs in the sourdough, some protein in the turkey bacon, and some fats in the vegan butter and avocado. Now, I looked up that uncured turkey bacon, and despite what the label of these natural nitrate-free bacons may suggest, they still do contain nitrates. So food manufacturers still cure their nitrate-free bacon or turkey breast, but they rely on natural curing agents like celery powder in lieu of synthetic sodium nitrate. It says so in itty-bitty letters on the label right here. And while we don't have any quality research to suggest that natural nitrates are healthier than synthetic ones, most experts think the effect is likely the same. And actually, there is some concern that you might even be getting more nitrates in nitrate-free foods, since synthetic nitrate amounts are regulated and capped, whereas the amount of celery powder a food can contain is not. Having said that, I don't think that we need to sensationalize or demonize anything here. There are naturally occurring nitrates in all sorts of foods we consume, most notably in vegetables. And if you're consuming processed foods in moderation, it shouldn't really be a huge concern. So this turkey bacon does have about half the sodium of most bacons I've seen, so it looks like a pretty good choice, assuming that it tastes okay. But ultimately, I say that there's always room for moderate amounts of ultra-processed foods like bacon in your diet when the bulk of your diet is from whole unprocessed foods. overall diet quality is much more important to me than any singled out ingredient when it comes to achieving long-term good health. So if Daisy loves this bacon, great, turkey bacon it up. But it's just worth pointing out that if you're trying to avoid nitrates, it is still a prominent source. But anyway, back to the breakfast. If there's a snack coming up, then this is totally great and fine. But if this is Daisy's only fuel until the afternoon with a workout in there, I would probably want to see this bulked up. So maybe another slice of toast or some eggs in there or some yogurt with fruit. Anyways, let's keep going.
I also have this big giant jug of water. I've been trying to drink more just because I feel better. It's better for your skin. This is my energy drink. I don't specifically drink Alani Nu. Sometimes I'll have Celsius.
Okay, so all water is good water in my books. I mean, assuming it's clean and safe to drink. But I am pleasantly surprised to see that she drinks her water plain and without a side of pseudoscience on the alleged benefits of lemon water. But anyways, whatever you like, lemon water, lime water, water, it's all good. But she's also right that water is important for your skin. And while one large systematic review of the literature suggested that the evidence we do have is weak at best, it did find that for those who were dehydrated, drinking more water did reduce skin dryness and improve elasticity. As for her energy drink, this one has 0 added sugar and about 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is the same amount as about 2 cups of coffee. Now, it's important to note that energy drinks have been the subject of countless public health campaigns. There are over 20,000 trips to the emergency room in the US every single year from energy drink use alone. Now, the biggest risk, however, is in younger kids, people with heart or anxiety issues, and folks who mix energy drinks with alcohol. Now, the other thing to consider is that a lot of energy drinks are regulated as supplements. And if you watch my video on the supplement industry, you'll know that that means they are not really regulated well at all. So yeah, it's kind of just like buyer beware out there for sure. Let's see what else she has to say.
My skin has been through some shit, you guys. So I started seeing this new lady and she's putting me on these like vitamins and stuff. Vitamin D3 drops. And it tastes really good, so I try not to do put the whole thing on, just like a drop or so, maybe 2.
So I am a huge believer in the power of vitamin D. I think we're just scratching the surface with our understanding of all of its important roles. But we do actually have some early evidence to suggest that vitamin D supplementation can improve acne, particularly in those who are deficient in vitamin D. And since so many of us are legitimately deficient, it's definitely worth speaking to your doctor about your unique vitamin D needs. And that's true whether you're suffering from acne or not.
I am going to have some of my coconut charcoal. This is good for your gut. And I've been told a lot of acne comes from your gut sometimes. And then I just chill with that because if I have anything else with charcoal, I will literally die. My stomach will rip apart.
Oh, I thought the activated charcoal trend was dead. Wishful thinking on my part. But if you are wondering about the efficacy of consuming burnt coconut shells, wood, and bamboo, let me give you a quick 101. So, activated charcoal is traditionally used to pull toxins out of the stomach in the ER when someone comes in having poisoned themselves. It's unpleasant stuff and really only something that you would normally want to take if you were desperate and maybe dying. But of course, wellness culture made it cool again with the belief that it will help bind toxins in your gut and flush them out. Now, the research in this area for gut health hasn't been so clear. It's possible that it has a very slight benefit for bloating and gas for those with an overgrowth of hydrogen-producing bacteria, but the research is poor and study results have been mixed. What we do know is that activated charcoal doesn't discriminate what it binds onto. So even if it did theoretically bind so-called toxins, it also could bind and excrete things that we would actually want to keep in our body. So things like nutrients, vitamins, supplements you're paying money for, and medication that you actually need. So imagine you're taking the birth control pill to prevent an unwanted pregnancy. You take a charcoal pill because, I don't know, an influencer said to, and well, you know the rest.
What is it?
So activated charcoal can also cause dehydration, so it's very important to up your water if you do decide to take it. Ironically, water on its own is likely a more reliable and safer detoxing tool than charcoal supplements, and it doesn't cause diarrhea, constipation, vomiting, and digestive blockages that supplements like these do. So obviously, please always speak to a doctor before trying them yourself. As for Daisy's assertion that acne comes from your gut, we do know that, like virtually everything, skin health is often somewhat of a reflection of the health of our microbiome. We also know that what you eat may have an impact on your skin. This is a really complicated area of research and one that we are just still starting to really learn about. But for example, research suggests that the typical low-fiber, westernized diet is associated with changes to the intestinal microbiome, which in turn can result in inflammatory skin conditions like acne. I have a whole video about diet and acne, so if you are suffering from regular breakouts, I definitely suggest watching that right here.
If you want perfect abs, just do this. Okay guys, I will say, like, look at my abs. Like, they have been coming in so much more lately. I really think it's because I've been doing more cardio and more ab exercises.
Probably not. I'm sure what Daisy's about to show us is a very good workout, but there is no one exercise or exercise program that will give everyone perfect abs. In reality, one's ability to get a six-pack is largely genetic and also depends on achieving a very low body fat percentage, which is unlikely to achieve from crunches alone. Most women need to get down to 10 to 15% body fat before they can see those abs appear. And for a lot of us, that is just not only not sustainable, but it's not necessarily even healthy to maintain either. Experts suggest that 11% body fat is the critical level for menstruation, and anything below that is likely to cause amenorrhea. And while some folks might think, well, I hate my period, so that's kind of nice, it's not when the long-term risk is osteoporosis and endometrial cancer. So yeah, I do feel strongly about this one because this look might come easily for some women, but it could require very dangerous behaviors for others. So let's focus on what is actually healthy here, and that is exercising for core strength. So Daisy's workouts look awesome and are no doubt beneficial whether or not they result in perfect abs. Let's see what else she's eating.
Frozen spinach, a whole banana, and I'm doing a whole banana because I just worked out. Usually I do half if I didn't just work out. Some almond butter, some almond milk, whey protein powder, some L-glutamine for recovery.
Okay, so this looks like a great post-workout smoothie. We've got carbs from the banana, protein in the protein powder, healthy fats in the nut butter, and even some veggies in there. But since there is some banana shaming going on, I do want to point out that the carbs in one banana is not even what I would consider optimal for post-workout recovery. There's about 30 grams of carbs and 30 grams of protein in this smoothie, which is about a 1-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein, when we actually ideally would want to see about 3-to-1 carbs to protein. Obviously, this is no big deal and totally fine if this is what tastes really good to her, but no need to talk about the poor banana like it's some kind of indulgent treat. Bananas are nature's exercise bestie. They're packed with easily digestible carbs, plus potassium, and they're the perfect vessel for driving protein into the muscle stat. And even if you're not working out, it's okay to eat the whole thing. Half a banana has only like 50 calories and like 15 grams of carbs. Not something to ever stress about, ever, even if you sat on your ass and binged Netflix all day. So personally, I would add some more carbs, either with some more fruit, maybe some oats, a side of bread, oatmeal, dates, something to beef this up. Because yeah, this does feel kind of limited for a post-workout snack that is also a meal. As for the addition of L-glutamine, the evidence suggests that it doesn't necessarily affect body composition, but it may help with strength recovery from resistance training. So if she feels that it's working well for her, it works for me. Just of course, a reminder to always look for a third-party tested supplement. And again, I've got a whole video to help guide you on that right here. Anyways, let's see what's next.
We got some chicken, rice, green beans, and little like a nut glaze on top.
This meal looks delicious. So yeah, it definitely looks like the girl's mom knows how to cook. I don't know what a pecan sauce nut glaze is, but it sounds so good. So we've got protein in the chicken, carbs in the rice, healthy fats in the pecans, and some veggies in the beans. So that to me is textbook balance, and I'm here for it. Okay, so before we get into the stats, a quick trigger warning that I'm about to talk macros and calories, so feel free to skip ahead if needed to the next section on the timestamp below. So based on my calculations, Daisy's consuming just 1,470 calories with 27% from protein, 43% from carbs, and 30% from fat. Considering that this is just not enough food, she's also coming up short in most of her micronutrients as well. Most notably, a bunch of the B vitamins, iron, fiber, and even vitamin C, which honestly, I don't think I've ever seen outside of my review of maybe this guy. I also watched another one of her What I Eat in a Days from a few months ago, and I think there was even less on that day, so it does feel like this is maybe her usual routine. Now, what I like about Daisy's diet is that it's pretty simple and accessible. Her meals, while sparse, are easy to replicate and relatively accessible. So even the dinner that her mama made looked pretty simple and inexpensive to make, which I always am here for. But I want to switch gears and offer a few gentle nutrition tips specific to her current intake. So for an active young woman working out most days of the week, Daisy likely needs at least 2,000 to 2,200 calories for weight maintenance alone. Now, considering her goal of maintaining a big booty, I would think that she wouldn't want to cut her gains so significantly with over a 500 calorie deficit. I know she mentions wanting to get leaner, but I would be worried that a caloric deficit equivalent to about a pound of weight loss per week may interfere with muscle maintenance required to stay lean and keep her metabolism working well. I have no issues with weight loss goals or body composition goals. This is her body and she deserves the autonomy to do whatever she wants with it. But just as a nutrition professional, this protocol does seem at odds with her goals. Now, with that in mind, I would love to see some more substantial meals and snacks in her day. So if we really break it down, Daisy has had a relatively small breakfast of 1 piece of avocado toast, a post-workout smoothie with just 30 to 40 grams of carbs, and a modest size yet balanced dinner. That was it. Honestly, I had to go back and watch the video like a bunch of times because I was sure I must have been missing something. But alas, she was the one missing out. If she's legitimately not more hungry on a diet like this, I might suggest cutting out the energy drink altogether. A lot of people use energy drinks, diet drinks, coffee, and tea to blunt their hunger cues and to provide them with an experience of energy when the real true energy from calories is lacking. Also considering there was very little produce in this day and her fiber intake was a little bit low, I would love to see a little more veggies and fruit in her meals or snacks. She did mention the importance of gut health and that she was taking an activated charcoal supplement specifically for that. So I am surprised that she isn't prioritizing good quality fiber sources throughout her day. Having said that, here's what I would suggest. Breakfast. We can bulk this up. We could simply just add another piece of avocado toast or maybe throw some eggs into the mix for some extra protein, or she could serve that up with some Greek yogurt if she eats dairy and some fruit. Lunch, well, I don't know, a protein smoothie is just not lunch in my books. So if she wanted to time her workout to have this immediately after, great. But I would suggest serving it with some additional carbs to help replenish those glycogen stores. So that might mean adding a bowl of oatmeal, a small sandwich, a simple wrap or pita, a hearty grain-based salad, or some veggies, pita, and hummus. I think this could also serve as a really good opportunity to sneak in some extra veg. Now her dinner looks great, maybe a little bit small, so I do definitely think that there's room for a snack before or after if she wanted. Even like a fun food, just to make this diet a little bit more enjoyable and sustainable for the long run. So now let's switch gears and talk about Daisy's relationship with her food and body. And I'm really going to try to be succinct because I feel that there could be a lot to unpack. I think my biggest beef is the title of this video, What to Eat in a Day for a Flat Tummy and a Big Booty. Yes, what you eat, how you eat, and how you exercise can absolutely change the shape of your body. But your genetic predisposition plays a much more significant role. Just consider the fact that, like every influencer I've ever reviewed has eaten avocado toast and protein shakes, and every one of them looks different. This is not like a magical combo of food that's going to result in a Kim K hourglass body for everyone. There are other videos on Daisy's channel with a similar issue, I would say. Honestly, the one called What I Eat in a Day for a Small Waist should likely be retitled What I Eat in a Day to Keep My Body Fat Low Enough That You Can See Some Abdominal Definition, and I Was Naturally Born with a Low Waist to Hip Ratio. But sadly, I don't think YouTube allows that many characters. Now, I'm not body shaming the girl. I think she's beautiful, and obviously this is a very desirable body composition. So girl, I say work it. But I'm just pointing this out because apparently I have to remind a lot of young, impressionable viewers that even if you replicated this diet to a T, and I really don't think that you should for all of its shortcomings, but your body wouldn't magically look like hers. I also want to reiterate that I am all for aesthetic body composition goals. Everyone is entitled to want to change their body or look a certain way. And whether that requires a committed exercise and diet regimen or surgery, you do you. No judgment from me. I definitely don't have an issue with any of that. But I do want to just correct the misinformation about her comments on intuitive eating, because what I've observed right here is not what I would call intuitive eating. There was a lot of moralizing language around food, particularly around carbs, like only allowing herself small amounts of carbs when she's exercising because she's going to burn them off anyway, and cutting out 1 carb a day to get lean. So let's just call this what it is. This is a diet. Maybe it's a flexible diet for her, but it's a diet no less. I don't know her diet history, so this may be a relatively good moment in her relationship with food. So I would say let's just try to be kind to Daisy as she continues on her journey. And folks, that is all that I have for you today. If you like this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below on who you'd like to see me review next. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye! And for more great videos like this, check out the link right here.